Welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
In that sense, we need God. Only God can bring us out of this mess.
Wonderfully made. I may not look like you and you me, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different.
All right. Top of the day to you. June 16th, 2022. My name's Donnie Glover. I don't do this often enough, but let me plug my two books, I Am Black Wall Street and Unapologetically Black. And in I Am Black Wall Street, I share the story of Chief John Horse and the significance of Chief John Horse to today's discussion, which is about Juneteenth. Well, you really can't talk about Juneteenth without talking about Chief John Horse. Now, in this very fine book, with a foreword done by this gentleman's superior, Billy Murphy. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, my senior colleague, senior family partner.
Okay, you want to get that vernacular there. That's why you get a lawyer when you go to court, because they start throwing out gang signs on you, and you don't know what's going on, but your lawyer knows the vernacular. That's just like, your Square County cousin coming to the city, and he want to go around the corner to get some, I don't know, edibles. You don't send them around there by itself. Not when Pookie and Black Stevie round the corner.
Absolutely.
You don't send people in these General Custer type ambushes.
You got to speak the language, right?
You need somebody to speak their language.
Speaking the language, yeah.
If they speak hood rat round the corner, you can't send someone with that good proper English and articulating every vowel and consonant. That's not gonna work. That's gonna get you robbed around the corner.
But we digress.
His name was Chief John Horse. He led Black people from Florida to Oklahoma in 1843. The U.S. government promised them freedom, but when they got out there, the U.S. government does what the U.S. government does. They renege on Black people. They pay reparations to the Japanese, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, but you Blackies ain't getting nothing. All right, so John Horse, after he get out there to Oklahoma, he leads his people to Mexico, Nacimiento, Mexico, where they celebrate Juneteenth. They celebrate Juneteenth in Mexico. Did you know?
I did not know that.
That's why you got to get the book. Attorney Malcolm Ruff. Good morning, counselor. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad to be back with you, my brother. Glad to chop it up with you a little bit today about
I'm sorry, freedom. Is that a Ravens jersey?
Absolutely not.
Even
though I am a diehard Ravens fan, that is a bona fide jersey from the Duke University that I wore when I played football there back in the early 2000s.
Do tell.
Yes,
I hated Krzyzewski growing up. I thought he was like,
that's because you can't say his name right. That's because you can't say his name right.
Krzyzewski. Okay, I know who he is. He reminded me of Freddy Krueger, but I have since concluded that Coach K is not a racist?
I don't think he is. And
Growing up, I saw him as a racist. I saw him as an
yeah,
unfriendly
but
face.
you were blinded by by the haze of winning and just hatred of the top dog. That's just what it is.
No, I pretty much thought they manufactured slaves and slave owners at Duke University.
Well, there's a whole history of the architecture at Duke and the history of chattel slavery that's connected to Duke and the tobacco money and Tobacco Road. But I don't believe that Coach K espoused that type of ideology.
Does he choose dark-skinned black people on his team?
He definitely has had some great brothers play for us.
No, I mean like Black Stevie Black.
You don't remember Luol Deng?
Who?
Luol Deng. He played for the Bulls. Brother was from I want to say Sudan. He was a dark-skinned brother.
Yeah, African. I'm talking about Black Stevie, Turnip Green's cousin.
Man, I knew Sean Dockery. He was my guy. He was straight hood.
We watching Coach K, but I've since given him a pass.
Well, look, he retired now, so he's free and clear now.
Well, in his latter years, now he just retired.
He did. It was actually pretty stunning.
He was an awesome coach. He loved to win.
He did, and he had a great record.
We love to hate Duke.
I know people love to hate Duke. Look, it's my school, my alma mater. I love the place. It gave me a great foundation and platform to start my career from. I got to go to school for free there. Got to have a great experience in the Black community at Duke, which is really underestimated by some folks. The Black community at Duke is strong and thriving.
And you married to an African American.
I am. I love my Black wife.
Well, see, I'm just saying, a lot of cats, they end up at Duke, and their persuasions are augmented. Their trajectory is,
Well, I understand that, but
hey, and that's cool.
Would they say to each his own?
Yeah, I went to Morehouse. There's no doubt I'm going to love me some Spelman sisters. They were right across the street.
They were.
What Dodo couldn't walk across. But this is what I don't understand. And we got it in the city of Baltimore. How many kids you got?
I have 4.
I got 2 kids. I got 2 grandkids.
Okay.
I'm tired of people without kids making rules for people with kids.
Who's been doing that?
America.
And who's been letting them do that?
America. And the J6 people who climb walls when the steps not even a stone's throw. The steps right there. The type people that climb a wall rather than take the steps.
Yeah.
The kind of people that sit by and let Martin O'Malley lock up 1 in 6 people and then come back and say, vote for me.
Mm.
And you ain't said nothing about the 1 in 6.
Look, man.
Black people, slavery is over. Nobody is going to lynch you if you don't vote for O'Malley. I promise you.
Look, man. If we're talking about,
I didn't mean to walk you into that.
No, look.
The views and opinions expressed on the show are mine, damn it, and not necessarily those of the management. Ain't got nothing to do with Malcolm. Plus, he went to Duke, and he got a law degree, so he's gonna spank you anyway. I'm gonna have to try something a little non-traditional, like call Black Stevie.
And come at you sideways.
Yeah, there is really a Black Stevie. We were best friends in East Baltimore, where my dad owned the funeral home, and he was the only one of my neighbors lived around on 20th and Boone. He wasn't scared to come into the funeral home. I'm like 7'8", man. I had no playmates.
Them
It's
kids
like
thought
an Undertaker kid. Ooh.
they thought they was gonna get up out the casket.
We used to lock them in the morgue. They talk smack, we lock them in the morgue. That was fun in East Baltimore, 1971.
We didn't even breathe when we went past the graveyard.
There's a graveyard directly across the street from that house.
Yeah.
We had I had the third floor all to myself. And I had a BB gun. And I gotta tell you, some people got popped on that corner. It wasn't me though.
That's funny. I remember a time when I was at Duke where JJ Redick got in trouble for shooting BB guns out the window.
Must have come out of East Baltimore.
Nah, JJ Redick definitely ain't from East Baltimore. Yeah, but that boy can shoot like he might have come out of there.
We love to hate Duke. And
Dude.
I tell you, the coach that I did like was from
Johnny
North
Dawkins.
Carolina, Dean.
Oh, Dean.
Dean Smith.
He was a legend. He was a legend. Statuesque, had great strategy. I can't give him any love because that's our rival, and I can't stand Carolina.
That's like me saying something good about City,
right?
Or Lake Clifton.
Yeah. We only beat them one time in football while I was there, but that was probably the best win of the whole time I was there. There you go, Willie Flowers. Go Duke.
Oh, he went to Duke?
Nah, he just knows where it's at.
I'm a little confused by this.
Don't be confused, Donnie.
This academic ecology of
Everybody
which I
loves
was
a
not
winner.
a part. And
Hey,
hold
look.
up, he's shouting out Duke, then he's shouting out Park Heights.
Yeah, because he's shouting out my shirt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a Malcolm.
I had to represent.
Then he say he is a Malcolm. You talking about Malcolm X?
Nah, brother, this brother Malcolm right here.
Oh, you.
Because you gotta understand, I'm Park Heights till I die. I mean, I'm only a stone's throw away from the
What's
hood
the
I grew
best
up in.
jerk chicken spot in Park Heights?
The best jerk chicken spot in Park Heights.
See, okay. Now, I didn't go to Duke. I went to Lamel. And what you just did right there is what we call a stall tactic. What's the vernacular?
You're right. I'm going to go with...
I'm going to spare you. He's coming back. His store got closed down during COVID. And I have to pull up the address. Do you know Max? Max's last spot was on Ricestown above Belvedere, right at the alley where the garage is up in the hole.
That's what I'm talking about. It is back. It's right across from the little Chevron.
Well, Max, if that's the same
it's
spot.
Back. It's on Belvedere, though. Not on Ricestown. It's on Belvedere. It's on the side.
On Ricestown.
Yeah, it's at Ricestown, but it's on Belvedere.
No, this is on Ricestown.
Okay.
Across from the furniture store.
On the right-hand side if you're going up.
He was, and he did a little pop-up for a minute over there.
What was the name of the spot?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
You trying to get me to name spots? I'm still trying to wait for them to get Yellow Bowl and the Roost back. You trying to get down into the Caribbean?
What's going to happen?
What the Roost?
The Yellow Bowl.
I would love for both of those institutions to come back. The Roost, I think Chris Mfume is the owner of that building now, and I looked into it a little bit, and it seems like he's trying to bring it back, but I don't think he's been successful.
Does he appreciate that area?
I would hope so. I don't know him personally, but
Chris Mfume, wonderful guy.
Okay.
Hold on, man. We got you on the radio. Now, don't say any cuss words. Max, say hello to the audience. Say good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
What's good, brother Max?
So, brother Max, I told him you got the best jerk chicken up Park Heights.
I let the customer speak. If he said that's good, that's a good look, though.
Okay, what is your new address? Where are you now located?
My new address is it's on the Talina/Maxis, and my new address is 3603 West Rogers Avenue, at the corner of Denmore and Rogers.
Denmore and Rogers. What's the name of it?
Talina Caribbean and American Carrier.
Talina.
Talina.
Lino, yes.
Okay.
/Maxis.
Talino Maxis. Okay.
Yes, /Maxis. Me and my daughter and me, we partnered up together.
That's a beautiful thing. Max, we love your food and we will be there. Are you open now?
No, we're not open. Our brand open Monday, and we should be open up by Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, good deal. We will be
I'll be
there.
coming by. I'll be coming by, Brother Max. I'm like 3 minutes away.
That's Brother Malcolm.
Okay, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to come check you out. I'm right across Wabash.
Good luck. I got you.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
Appreciate you, Max. Thanks for picking up.
All right, Don.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good look, Donnie.
Man, I watched this. They don't let you see it. Real jerk chicken, if they let you see you doing it, they faking you out. Because I'm telling you, it's like a little leprechaun in the back. When nobody looking, they pull these supplies out, throw them in the food.
Well, they definitely don't want you to know what the combination of the herbs are at all. You know, that's secret and top. I mean, you know, top secret.
I done paid African Americans myself for the recipe, and they not sharing.
Nah, they're not sharing that. Not sharing.
They'll make it for you, but I'm telling you, it's like a training course. And once you go through the training course, you get your own little leprechaun, and they just come around. They know when you cooking. It's like Nanny the Maroon Queen just put the word out.
That smell just be wafting.
I had some jerk with some rice. I didn't even get to the chicken. The rice was that good. Normally, I don't want a lot of rice.
Where?
This is Ricky Chin spot at the bottom of Pennsylvania Avenue, down there by the James Brown Motel. You don't know about the James Brown Hotel?
Nah, brother. See, I'm an 80s baby.
At the bottom of Pennsylvania Avenue, over on the left, is the old James Brown Hotel.
Wow.
James Brown had a radio station here.
Yeah, I did know that.
So a Ricky Chin spot is called Culture, and that's the best jerk chicken spot around my house.
It's on the right side, right before you get the.
But I will be cheating on Ricky Chin in a New York second as soon as Max is, because Max is, they got this sauce. And you got to get this, I want to say, it's not butterscotch. Scott's Bonnet hot sauce.
Scotch Bonnet.
Woo!
I just had some when we were in Barbados for my wife's birthday that was smacking.
Man, you ain't come on here to talk about all of this history and culture. You came in to talk about something more historical.
Absolutely, man. But I came on here just to touch and agree with you, man. I appreciate everything that you do for our community, man. You know, our firm is, strong supporters of your media and your outlet and your service for the community. So, look, anytime I can get in front of you and chop it up, we're going to do it every time.
All right. I got a question for you.
What's that?
What made Judge Judy see the light? Oh, that's right. You be working that time.
I follow real judges.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
I'm just saying.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying.
Judge Judy tried to get new. I had the utmost respect, but then she tried to get new on Bird. She tried to go start a new thing and told Bird, we don't need you no more. I see Bird back on there.
Look.
She tried to slight Bird. That's like trying to get slick on the sheriff down there.
Hey, look, all that stuff is.
Do people understand who the sheriff is?
I can't even get with it, bro. I mean, look, everybody loves these judge shows, and what, Steve Harvey's got a judge show now.
That's not it. Come on now. Judge Judy's a real judge.
I mean, she has the powers of a real judge, but she does not do what real judges do, right? She is there for entertainment value, to create a buck and to create a
No,
buzz over people's
not just
problems.
entertain, not
But real judges have to deal with real laws and constructing the laws and
just,
actually applying them to real life situations that actually, have real
but
ramifications in
see, you
people's
got
lives.
dog too heavy and deep. Any dog lover loves Judge Judy because Judge Judy looks out for dogs. See, y'all got it all messed up. I ain't talking about people. I'm talking about dogs, man. You heard the German Shepherd. I want to know, is she fair to all dogs? Does she treat little what's them little fluffy rat chasing dogs? Dogs made to chase rats.
The lap dog.
No, them little pretty ones.
Yeah, they still a lap dog. I mean, I don't know, poodles and chihuahuas and what do you call the little ones? I don't know what you call them, man. I like dogs, but I'm not a dog person.
Oh, you're not a dog person.
I'm not like, I don't know all the different breeds and whatnot.
I saw a dog show once. Malcolm had 2,000 breeds of dog. I didn't know there was so many breeds of dog.
Oh yeah,
there's more breeds of dog than there are people.
Well, yeah, I guess people have over time spent a lot of time mixing and matching, trying to create all kinds of different types of tools.
And take your German Shepherd out. DMX said it best: don't get a dog if you can't take care of a dog.
That's for sure. That's for sure. We had a dog for our family that passed away a couple of years back. We still haven't been able to replace her just because she was just that amazing. She was an amazing dog. She listened. She followed directions. She was loving and caring.
Don't you want a judge that will be empathetic more toward you than a non-dog lover? It's un-American or not, but it's even more un-American to put dogs above people.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
This white lady came up to me. You're not going to leave your dog in there. I said, if only you were so concerned about people. Mind your damn business.
Well, look, we got a case in PG County right now that actually kind of amplifies that aspect right there. We got a case where the PG County police broke into these people's houses with the key from a maintenance man at the apartment complex. That's a clear problem with the Constitution that says you have a right to privacy, right? And there has to be probable cause for a police officer, to have a warrant to enter you into your domicile. You remember that whole Fourth Amendment thing? So evidently the police department in PG County does not train their officers to observe the basic fundamental constitutional rights of its citizens. And so because of the allegation of a dog bite, these Prince George's County police officers entered into the home of 4 young Latin folks. Willie Flowers, I'm gonna have to get back to that comment. That's a good story, but I'm gonna have to get back to that. But they go to this house for these young Black Latin folks who have dogs that have been accused of biting a woman in their neighborhood. They don't get an answer at the door, so they get the maintenance man to come to the door, open the door. They enter the house, guns drawn, not even knowing that there's 2 people in the house that were in the room in bed, not even hearing that the door was being knocked on. Chaos ensues. The other 2 roommates aren't home. They come home as the police are in the house, occupying the house, trying to get the other 2 people to come out of the bedroom. One of the people comes out of the bedroom. They detain her. They detain the other people trying to get into their house. I mean, excessively detain them. Start throwing people on the floor, pulling tasers out on people, and this is all on video, all on cell phone video. I'll share it with you, and you can show it to your viewers because it's harrowing to imagine that these police officers, some of them Black, most of them Black, rolling up into these people of color's house, pulling their guns on them, throwing them around, and then the dog comes out of the back. One of the dogs comes out of the back bedroom and does not attack, runs right past some of the officers, going to its owner, The officers freak out and they all yell, "Dog, dog, dog." They pull their guns, they shoot the dog, kill the dog right there in front of everybody.
There's a word that I struggle with.
What's that?
Because I don't hear it often. In order for a police to engage you,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a reasonable and articulable. Is that the word?
Reasonable, articulable suspicion.
Articulable.
Correct.
Because I want to be able to say that correctly.
You said it right.
If ever approached, and I had to use it once, by Baltimore City's finest over on the corner of Pennsylvania and Lawrence, 2 blocks from my house. It's where I traverse daily, either for transportation, the store, or what have you.
What 100 block is that?
I'm going to venture to say the 1800 block.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to the 1500 block about this lawsuit we filed last week after you finish this.
I was talking with a young man about that day, and he said the same thing, that the police went, this was Friday. He said the police came at him and they went into his trunk. Can you explain to our young people why police do not have the right to search your car and what they ought to do in that situation?
The police only have the right to search your car, as you've mentioned, if in the situation of a traffic stop, right? They have what's called reasonable articulable suspicion to believe that criminal activity is afoot, and that you are involved in that criminal activity. There must be some indicia, indication, some sign, something that they recognize through their training, knowledge, and experience to lead them to believe that criminal activity is afoot. And it has to be, and when they say articulable, it has to be not just that I believe that this young man or this person is up to no good because they seem like they're acting nervous, or they seem like their attention is distracted, and they're acting squirrely or wanting to get away, or being evasive. None of that is articulable suspicion, right? Articulable suspicion is being able to say, I smelled what I believe to be illegal drugs in the car. I plainly see in the car indications of, drug paraphernalia. I got a call from somebody who indicated that they saw this person, holding a weapon, and that they have it concealed, right? That's where you get into the Terry stop, where you have the ability to search somebody's person for weapons based on the allegation of even somebody calling into the police. But they do not, based on the Fourth Amendment, have the right to just search your vehicle because they want to, or believe, or have some notion or suspicion that you are involved in some sort of criminal activity. That's why it's important never to consent to searches. That is the number one way that police officers get into vehicles, and it is to the detriment of our community that we haven't made sure that everybody knows the script. And the script is, here's my identification. I want a lawyer. I do not make statements, and I do not consent to searches. It's the script, and it's very important to protect your constitutional right.
I want a lawyer.
Here's my identification. I want a lawyer. I do not intend to make any statements, and I do not consent to searches. It is very simple, and it's very polite and cordial, and should not cause a police officer to act. Should not cause a police officer to act, unprofessionally with you or brutally with you. if you operate, and obviously you have the right to say whatever you want to the police. In this case that we're going to talk about in a little bit, that happened in the 1500 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. We talk about the fact that police in Baltimore City have arrested folks simply because they've asserted their First Amendment right, which is to be able to say whatever you reasonably would like to without slandering somebody or committing libel. Or creating a riot or using fighting words, something along those lines. But as far as your First Amendment right is concerned, you have every right to be upset with the police and to say how you feel in that circumstance. But what I'm telling the young people today is that that's not worth it. There is a way that you can conduct yourself, still, be respectful and righteous, and protect yourself by saying, here's my identification. I would like a lawyer. I do not intend to make any statements, and I do not consent to searches.
I got to throw this in there. In this last 8 years, we've gotten rid of bail. We advocated to get rid of the bail system. So now if a person gets locked up based on their record, they may not have been in trouble for 20 years, but they could get locked up, accused of something violent, and sit for 8 months before they even go to court.
It's the truth, man. I actually just had a situation with a young man I've known his entire life. He's 21 years old, 21, 22. Great kid. Right? He's a grown man now. Great young man. I've known him his whole life, know his family. Great. He come from good stock, as they used to say, right? Kid went to Baltimore School of the Arts, is an artist, does art for needy children that are disabled and sick. Gives back. He's a regular young man out here trying to make something of himself. He ended up, I want to say 3 weeks ago, getting arrested on an arrest warrant that originated in December of last year. And that arrest warrant was originated from a statement of probable cause submitted by a Baltimore City police officer based on these set of facts. A young man said he had a gun pointed at him. He ran, found a police officer, and within 2 minutes, they had an APB out for a white man in all black wearing a mask. They found my client 9 minutes walking from the location of that alleged pointing at the Broadway Square, wearing all black, but he's black. They then took him and showed him to the victim, the alleged victim. The victim said verbatim, yeah, he was wearing all black like that, but I cannot be sure that is him because he was wearing a mask. They then let this young man go after taking his ID and his information. They let him go and then submitted a statement of probable cause to the commissioner's office for Baltimore City for first-degree assault on this young man. Now, number one, so many problems with that. If you honestly, as a Baltimore City police officer, suspected and thought you had probable cause to charge a young man with first-degree assault for pointing a gun in the middle of downtown Baltimore, why in the Lord's name would you ever let him walk away from you? Second problem, commissioner's office. They are sworn as magistrates to determine whether the police actually have probable cause.
I'm still trying to digest the first question. And so I'm spitting up right now because that didn't go down and you're trying to throw more garbage at me.
Well, I'll go back. Here's the thing. 6 months goes by. This young man is on the street working his job. He's got a full-time job. He makes money, lives with his mother, helps her take care of the house, does his thing. 6 months goes by. The next thing he knows, Baltimore City police are at his door, the warrant task force, in front of his mother and all his neighbors in Ashburton, getting pulled out of his house and put into a paddy wagon. sits in jail for the next 2 nights. I went to his commissioner hearing and yelled and screamed at the commissioner. And I actually, well, I'm not even gonna get into that. I made all the arguments that I made at his bail review, which I'll get to in a second. But this young man, there was no probable cause to arrest him, no probable cause to hold him, no probable cause to even issue this arrest warrant. The commissioner, the second commissioner, after the first commissioner finds probable cause, the second commissioner agrees and holds him without bail for another night. This is the aspect that you're talking about of the criminal getting swallowed up into the criminal justice system and the gears of this system that are just ruthless.
Alleged criminal.
Correct. He's a presumed innocent, but he's being held without bail. He has no criminal record. He's got a stellar education record, all the family ties, and the commissioner's office just completely ignored it. I mean, they just did not care. And it shows you the jadedness, how jaded folks in these positions are, right? The commissioner that I argued with over this young man's life, right? The next 24 hours of his life, how that would be lived, right? He simply did not like the fact that I was saying this young man was different and this case shouldn't be looked at the same way all of the cases that come in front of him are looked at.
Was the commissioner black?
Yes, young and black, young male black commissioner, and did not care about this young black man's life and whether
why do we need blacks in that position then?
We need the right black people in that position, that's for sure.
Well, this is rather philosophical, but we have a majority black city.
We do.
Where we have no power. I'll tell you how we have no power. They put Afram out the zoo with the monkeys.
I'll tell you why, because they put Afram on Juneteenth. They say y'all can get 2 for 1.
And then they put Pride in the middle of that where you don't know whether you're celebrating daddies or not. And that's where I say I am sick of people with no children
telling those people with children,
telling people with children how to proceed because you don't have the right.
Hey, I dig it.
Just like people in bike lanes. We got bike lanes all through the black community. Although I don't see nobody riding a bike on it, but you know, slow traffic down for everybody else because you want to tell people what they should be doing. But if you had kids, you would know you ain't putting your kids or your mama that you're taking to the doctors on no damn bike.
I get it. Well, the problem is we got too many problems to solve, and we don't know how to prioritize them.
I think they need to bring in Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams was my 5th and 6th grade teacher, and he kept things in order. If you didn't know how to act, all we know is you step out in the hallway for 2 minutes with Mr. Williams, and they come back with some act right.
Well, that sounds like he trained the Baltimore City Police Department.
No, they weren't trained.
No, I'm telling you, because we got a case right now against a Sergeant Newberg who arrested our client, and when our client asked him why he was being arrested, he told him, because you don't know how to act.
See, he doesn't need to be a sergeant. He needs to be demoted. Freddie Gray, since Freddie Gray, we've not seen policing. And we haven't seen it because of the consent decree, which essentially G-checked the cops after decades of mistreatment of our people. You're not back?
I have to disagree because of the lawsuit we filed last week, Donnie. We filed a lawsuit, a sweeping federal civil rights lawsuit against the Baltimore City Police Department directly under what's called the Monell theory, which is the only way to sue under the civil rights laws federally a municipality directly, right? And it's a very small window. The only way you can do it is to prove that there is a actual recognized pattern and practice of condoning unconstitutional behavior by its employees and its agents and its officers. The DOJ report made that very clear. The egregious part about it is after this. Go ahead.
It made what clear? The DOJ.
It made it clear that a pattern and practice of condoning unconstitutional behavior of Baltimore police officers was present. And
I get it. I get it.
Right.
The question is, has the way they've chosen to remedy that, is that working?
No, because
in my neighborhood, they selling dope, coke, rock, they shooting dice, they smoking weed in front of police.
Right, but just because they're not policing doesn't mean when they actually are policing that they're policing the right way and policing in a community-minded way.
I see them putting
constitutionally within the constitutional parameters. So 2020, January 2020, 2020, my client standing in front of Live at the A convenience store and grocery store in the 1500 block of Pennsylvania Avenue. Standing in front of the door, this police sergeant, Welton Simpson Jr., who we sued last week, arrives at the location. He has just been black police officer.
Have you seen him?
Have I seen a picture of him? Absolutely. I saw him in court as well when my clients had to testify against him in criminal court.
Does he have a beard?
He might now. He did not when this happened.
What'd he do?
Oh man, this brother, he deserved to have his black card taken because the way he treated these young men was criminal. It was like he was an overseer. It was like, he was Samuel L. Jackson in Django.
I did not watch that movie. No way I could watch Tarantino tell me about Black history. He's not qualified. And he made a mockery of it.
Well,
but tell me.
I digress. But at the end of the day, my young man is standing in front of the door. Simpson, the officer, had just been beaten in a foot chase around the corner.
Oh, he got embarrassed.
And
they were laughing at him. They were laughing.
Was upset. Who knows? But I don't think the people that were at the location knew what had just happened with him. But he gets there. He's upset in my mind, right? He's upset. He starts to walk into the store. And all this is on camera. My client is standing in front of the door, but there's enough space behind him for the officer to walk past him. Instead of doing that, the officer walks directly at him and then checks him with his left shoulder as he's walking in, and it tells him, get the F out the way. And an argument ensues, obviously. My client says, what do you mean? The word is excuse me. You show me some respect. Like, you didn't have to treat me like that. And the next time you do it, I'm going to knock you out, essentially, right? So the officer then starts talking smack, telling the other people that are chiming in, I got enough for all of y'all. That's what he said, verbatim. I got enough for all of y'all. The next thing,
can I just tell you, it wasn't long ago that another officer went around there. They call that block the Bricks. That's the block where Choppers Lounge is, the block south of Chicken Bake.
Yep.
I've seen officers go around there ill-prepared and get mashed. But they brought it on themselves. Let me share this with you. We just had a parade on Saturday. I'm one of the organizers, and so are two. One retired cop, one current cop.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Lee and Evan Anderson.
Okay.
They give respect, they get respect.
Correct.
They don't go around there. They already know what's going on. These are the type cops the kids run up to. Anderson, Chuck Lee, love you, man. Where you been at? We had the parade from Penn North all the way down to Robert C. Marshall. Saturday. No incidents whatsoever. None.
Because that's about a mutual respect, man. When you have mutual respect, you're going to have more cooperation. You're going to have the ability to communicate. You're going to have the ability to work together. When you got officers like this guy,
you remember Officer Torbett? You remember Torbett? Torbett got killed down on it was by a famous nightclub. If you go straight down Pennsylvania Avenue around Packer Street, I'm not gonna say the name of it because it hurt their business. What happened outside? But Officer Torbett got shot. He was in plain clothes, and I mentioned Officer Torbett because when the kids on the avenue did his memorial service, it was the most beautiful thing you would ever see coming out of this community. The same community that's characterized by the likes of Sinclair Broadcasting, aka Fox, aka home of Freak Nasty, aka home of Theru Vignaraja.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, Fox, the Smith family, Atlas Hotel. Why are they trying to push Freak Nasty on us as state's attorney when he just got caught trying to trick? I don't trust a man that can't trick.
He said Freak Nasty.
It's the second time he got caught tricking. I mean, something wrong with a dude that can't trick.
One thing I'll say is, for some reason his campaign sign is right next to the
strip club. That's where he belongs. I don't trust him. I mean, that means a pretty lawyer will get him to sway. And then where's his wife while he doing all of this tricking?
Hey man, I'm just trying. Look,
I'm not this man's keeper. That okay? What religion is he in? I got to look into that.
Hey, look, we'll let Fox talk about that. I'm talking about these young men that got done completely wrong, and their whole lives were disrupted, Donnie. And you didn't let me get to that part yet. You gotta let me get to that part because this case is important. Because number one, it's going to set a precedent about how Baltimore Police Department in the city of Baltimore decide to make people whole for these types of incidents, right? There have been settlements upon settlement upon settlement in Baltimore City Police Department over police misconduct over the past, let's say, 8 to 10 years, right? As I look through them, and if you look at my lawsuit that I filed last week, I listed them. There's about 3 pages of settlements and verdicts against the Baltimore City Police Department since about 2013-14. But they're not commensurate with what happened, right? There are some cases where people got shot, and only got the cap on damages, which is $400,000. These young men, on the lie of this officer, ended up serving 6 months in jail, right? The officer essentially said they started a fight with me and I had to break it up, and I was able to detain them and, cart them off to jail, charge them with assaulting an officer, disorderly conduct, failure to obey, resisting arrest, throw the book at them. And then you had our city leaders, Jack Young, jumping out there, Michael Harrison, the commissioner who was brand spanking new at the time, jumping out there, the governor, Larry Hogan.
I'm sorry. I want to go back to East Side. Bernard Jack Young. He did what?
Oh, Jack jumped out there just like everybody else. The commissioner jumped out there first.
Just check. Jack jumped out there and said what?
He called our clients criminals, and he said that this behavior is completely unacceptable, and that our clients and the people that were involved would all be prosecuted.
I'm going to tell you what's criminal and what's the other word?
Which word?
Jack said that they were criminal and
it was unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Oh Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year I'm the 5th grade class president, but at the end of the year I want to go back to the 4th grade and be the 4th grade president.
Wow.
Is this the same Jack Young that said that?
It's the same Jack.
The same Jack that said, I don't want to be mayor. What? Hey, the only thing worse than that was when that guy Trent, when Fox hemmed him up. Is that his name, Trent? The guy that went and said, I burned down. He said, I should be locked up. The guy that burned down his girlfriend's house. Then
I remember him.
Oh, his name is Luther. Luther got on Fox. They got all in his business. His daddy is a judge in Philadelphia. Luther got on TV and said, I should be locked up. Black people, wherever you are in the world, under the call of my voice, don't ever say that. Don't ever, ever say that. They locked him up quicker than a Baltimore speed camera. Luther locked up and won't be burning down nothing. Okay, so Jack don't carry no weight in this.
All right, Larry Hogan. Let's see what Larry Hogan said. I wish I could.
Larry ain't gonna be mayor of Baltimore siding with Fox.
Well, I'm talking about the governor, Larry Hogan.
Larry Hogan talked about being mayor of Baltimore.
Oh Lord, no, I don't want to go there.
What do we have now?
What I'm talking about is the governor who went out there and called our clients criminals as well after not looking at the body camera footage. The commissioner for Baltimore City Police Department had the body camera footage in his possession from the day that this incident occurred, and did not look at it, did not scrutinize the officers' statements at all. He was lying straight to their faces. They had the ability, based on their own policies, to review his use of force, to review the body camera footage. They said they did in their use of force reports, and yet and still they maliciously prosecuted our clients for 6 months until their criminal defense attorneys made these body camera pieces of footage public in the media. And that's the only reason our clients got released. And this officer was charged with misconduct in office, false statement. He was convicted in front of the Baltimore City Circuit Court by a judge. He decided not to have a jury because he didn't trust a Baltimore City jury to rule in his case. Did not matter. A Baltimore City judge said, no, sir, you lied. You acted with misconduct maliciously, and you're going to be convicted. So he was convicted, and he's appealing that. But at the end of the day, these young men's lives were disrupted. My client lost a job where he was making $17 an hour working for H&S Bakery. He was on a probationary period, was about to get bumped up to over $20 an hour and start a career in a union. As a 24-year-old young man, 23-year-old young man out of West Baltimore, out of Sandtown.
His job back?
Man, I have been working very hard to get this man's job back. We're working on it. And I think that with the media attention that we've got from the lawsuit, that may be the momentum we need.
But you can get him his job back. That's easy for you. What's the hard part?
The hard part is that I can't control other people's businesses. But I will say that we have reached out.
Mr. Paterakis is certainly, his company is certainly supportive.
I can tell you we have been in contact with them, and we're working on it. We're working on it.
I mean, the city's been.
But I'm going to tell you this too. The collateral damages of this whole ordeal have made it almost impossible for these young men to get jobs.
Mr. Paterakis, I'm sure they can handle that. That's a small lip, considering how beneficial that relationship is with the city of Baltimore. Paterakis, the bread man, H&S. It should be no problem. It should be a small thing. Let's get all of the black politicians that ever went to Mr. Paterakis for money to join in and say, hey, Mr. Paterakis, wondering if you can get this guy,
I can dig it. And I think he will get his job back very soon. I think that's going to happen. And I'll look forward to coming back and letting you know that it has.
But what's the heavy lift?
Say this again?
Finish. You wanted to bring it home.
My other client, so that young man's name is Zain Abdullah. My other client is Donnell Burgess. This young man, both of them, their significant others were pregnant at the time of this incident. This young man, Donnell Burgess, actually missed the birth of his only child on the lie of a Baltimore City police officer. Neither one of them could support their significant others while they were in jail. And nobody believed them. This is how young men get swallowed up in the criminal justice system on a regular basis. Just like this young man I represented who got charged with this first-degree assault over nothing, right? Get swallowed up. Now your fingerprints are in the system. Now you and the NCIC NCIS system nationwide. All because of overzealous, unconstitutional, and downright corrupt policing.
We talked about music at the beginning of the show. There's some music playing in the background. In the background, I can hear Kendrick Lamar talking about the culture. I can hear Marvin Gaye playing. The background music is Kendrick Lamar is talking about the culture that you have so eloquently articulated. Have you heard that song, The Heart Part 5? Have you seen?
I've seen the video. Yes, the video is super artistic, man, super creative, and it reminded me of Donnie. What's his name? Yeah, Donnie Glover. Isn't that his name?
Donnie Hathaway?
No.
Oh, Donald Glover.
Donnie Glover, yeah, Donald Glover.
Childish Gambino.
This is America.
Oh.
I think that was the most significant, protest piece since This Is America. Mr. Haney, thank you for shouting it out. That's right. I didn't even talk about that aspect, the fact that they knew that this police sergeant had a protective order issued against him by his ex-wife, and she accused him of allegedly raping her at gunpoint with his service weapon. That was 10 years before this incident happened. They just sat him.
And he's on the force?
He was on the force for 10 more years after that.
See, that's why we know Detective Sean Suter was killed. Because those around him, they have very bad credit in the Black community.
Almost none.
Oh, no, they bankrupt.
So there you go. Oh, he said, leave Jack alone. Nah, Jack was wrong. All of them were wrong. The mayor, the police commissioner was completely wrong.
Which mayor?
Jack Young.
Oh, okay.
He was completely wrong. The police commissioner was completely wrong. The governor was completely wrong. And the crazy part about it is, no, I'm sorry, Donnie. The crazy part about it is this. When these young men were exonerated, when this officer was convicted, did any of them come back to the media and say, you know what?
We rushed
to judgment. We should have never just assumed that this officer was telling the truth. We should have believed these young men. He had them right on the body camera footage, and my client is sitting there saying to the officers, he pushed me. He hit me first. Why y'all taking me to jail? But instead, this is what I said to the Sun. I said, our city leaders had no problem rushing to judgment. No problem at all on the lie of this officer. But this is how they consistently ignore and devalue the Black Butterfly and the people in the Black Butterfly in Baltimore City.
My question is to those Black people who work to enforce the White Owl and Black Butterfly without even knowing it. My question is about those Black people who are accomplices of the system in the destruction and violation of the Black community.
Well, number one, Black police officers like Welton Simpson.
And Black elected officials. This is a Black city. I don't feel comfortable. I felt more comfortable in Jordan in the Middle East than I do in Baltimore.
I get it. It starts though with being able to experience civil liberties right on the street, and be treated the same way you would if you were walking on Boston Street as if you were on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Well, let me ask you then, Malcolm. I live here. I reside in West Baltimore, historic West Baltimore. North Avenue proper is just up the street. And we have a lot of new addicts who are not reflective of the majority population in Sandtown. I just caught one in my alley going through the trash. And I said, lady, you have to get out of the alley. And to which she said, excuse me, but do you own this alley? And I said, well, by golly, I do. Now, can you get to stepping? And she proceeded to call me the N-word. How does someone, well, needless to say, the German Shepherd and I just threw our hands up in the air. Well, he threw his paws up, and we just went on in the house and finished watching Captain Chesapeake. And that's before your time, my bad.
Definitely. Definitely. So what's the question?
Why are they in my alley? Why, when the police put the cuffs on them, they take the cuffs off of them after they tell them where they got the dope from? Why can't I walk around Bolton Hill nodding? Part of the reason I'm sleepy is I'm walking the dog at 2 o'clock. I'm searching the perimeter so I can go to sleep. And they up. It's like Dawn of the Living Dead.
Dude, it's all over too, because I'm in West Arlington and it's getting warm.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is West Arlington? Is that like the plaza?
No, it's like the area in between Liberty and Wabash and Rogers and Garrison.
Oh, up there where they be racing at.
That's a little bit further north. They race on Northern Parkway.
Dirt bikes. What are we going to do about dirt bikes? Are we going to create a safe space for dirt bike riders?
I was really hoping they were going to create that they were going to go with is that Brittany Young and B360's ideas. I thought they were working on trying to convert Old Madison Park into a dirt bike park.
That ain't big enough. Oh, you mean Murder Mall?
Madison Park, yeah, that thing is huge.
David Bramble
down North Avenue.
They didn't get rid of all of those African Americans who lived there, only for more African Americans without bicycles to come back to this safe haven. I went to school in that block. I went to the first graduating class of Hyman Blumberg Daycare Center, right there in that block of North Avenue in between Park and Mount Royal, where the traffic is backed up for 5 blocks all the way back to Coppin, because somebody thought bike lanes was a wonderful idea. Clearly, that person had no children.
That's really the bus lane that's causing most problems. But I used to get babysat in Madison Park. That was where my cousins lived.
I was in the block before Madison Park.
Yeah.
Where that one-level school across the street from Micah is. Now, in the block you're talking about, on the other side of Park Avenue, that was quite an environment.
Trust me. I remember walking up in there to get to hang out with my older cousins for the night while my mother had to do her thing.
And you made it?
I made it.
But see, that's also that.
Shout out my cousins Tasha and Yafet. They took care of me.
Yeah, John Eager Howard. If you had a BNBL shirt from John Eager Howard, that was like Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Nobody gonna mess with you.
Nah, mine was from Bentlow.
You might have a challenge. You might have a problem. But Bentlow's respected. Bentlow's respected.
Bentlow was one of the best programs in the city, man.
Hey, you down there at North and Linden, they don't care nothing about Bentlow and you little privileged black people with lawns.
Oh, shoot.
You know you got lawns down there at Bentlow Rec. They ain't the hood.
Oh, man, please.
Bentlow is not the hood. They got a community.
Bentlow is certainly the hood. Man, if you walk up in there, that recreation center is like they renovated it since I've been a kid.
I'm talking about the neighborhood. That's like the county.
Oh no, man, that's Southwest Baltimore, man. Come on.
It's a homeowners association, and they don't allow outsiders to come in with any type of chicanery. I assure you.
Chicanery. It's the vocab for me.
We got to get off of here. Malcolm, what do you want to know? Let's put the final plug in. Thank you.
Oh, man, so many things to say. I wish I had been more.
You're plugging an event, though.
Well, I'm not plugging any events. Let's just say there will be much celebration of Black freedom this weekend in West Arlington, and I'm looking forward to touching and agreeing with all my people.
If I've never been to West Arlington, any tidbits on, this is my Kyle Jackson interview. Listen, Malcolm, welcome. Any tidbits for people who have never been to West Arlington before? Kyle Jackson give the runaway slave report, and he really ought to stop that, man.
You ain't right. One of the things that we got a lot of development in West Arlington. So the first water tower in the city of Baltimore is located in West Arlington. And our community association president and I, that's Sean Stinnett, we've been working really hard to get that water tower renovated. We've gotten some money from the state. We're on track to do exactly what they're doing in Roland Park with the second water tower that was built in Baltimore City, and renovating that.
You know what I want to ask the white powers to be? When you do stuff for Roland Park, why don't you do something for West Arlington, for Park Heights too? Black people got an individual. Why do you put all of the resources in the White Owl and you put nothing in the Black Butterfly? And then when the kids from the Black Butterfly get mad at you and smack the crap out you, you're like, oh, wow, what did I do? Oh, wow, really?
I get it. But that's why I'm taking advantage of these opportunities now. So we just got $250,000 from the state for the water tower. We got $100,000 from the state to renovate Pennhurst Park, which is about I want to say an acre and a half park right there on Pennhurst and Garrison. Is literally in the heart of our neighborhood, and a place where we should be able to do community gatherings and have a safe place for kids. That stuff is happening. So I get historically that we've been ignored, but you got to have people like Sean Stinnett, like you, like me, stepping up and demanding it, right? Like Willie Flowers.
I noticed you did not mention, as you were describing, soldiers, elected officials. And that disappoints me in an election season. Hey, I'm just taking note. You didn't mention, you mentioned community servants. That's why I don't want to be a politician, because we can continue to get work done. As soon as the cats say, vote for me, you don't see them no more.
Look, I have disavowed myself of the idea of becoming a politician. I'm going to stay working from this platform right here, because like you said, it's about the independence. It's about being able to stay, in a lane that is righteous, and also connected, but also not tied to any kind of bureaucracy.
Malcolm, they had a big event in your community less than a month ago. I'll never forget my first time at one. I found $100. The Preakness. I saw these African Americans all on social media. They had on straw hats. They had on seersucker suits. I saw one drinking a Black-Eyed Susan.
Oh, that refreshing drink?
That cool, refreshing drink. Malcolm, we're very good to make it to the VIP party. But when it comes time to making sure the racetrack impact funds, the monies from Pimlico, from gambling, from table gambling, go back into Park Heights, I don't see these seersucker, straw hat, Black-Eyed Susan sipping Black people. I guess they're hungover, or they're waiting for the next slice of watermelon.
Well, they're waiting for something, and that's the first problem, right? Is to be waiting. We got to be proactive. We got to demand equity, and that's why I've been trying to get more in tune with what's happening with Park Heights Renaissance, what's happening with this strip between Virginia and Woodland.
They're getting rid of Black people. You see a big empty space.
It's a big empty space, and it's starting. No, it's actually starting. They're starting to do construction there now. So, we have to be the keepers, right? The gatekeepers, and make sure that our voices continue to be heard, and garner the support. Like we got to make people aware of what's happening, right?
I got a trivia question for you. Are you really from Park Heights?
Am I really from Park Heights? Ask Willie.
Okay, we're Palmer Court.
Palmer Court.
Maybe that was an unfair question.
Is it above Cold Spring?
I don't know that it exists anymore. No, it's right down for Belvedere.
Yeah, it's above Cold Spring.
Yeah, above Cold Spring.
So I'm from Lower Park Heights. I grew up below Cold Spring.
It's like Beirut.
I
had a cousin who lived in there. And you know how you about to go in somebody's house, you're like, before you take that final step where you're committed, like that officer ran down the avenue, at some point, he had the opportunity to stop his foolishness. But he went on inside the beehive anyway. And you go poking around, and he gonna get stung. You hear about that cop that went around there and they whooped his hind parts?
Oh, wow.
See, that's the part you didn't know about. Others have gone around playing RoboCop.
And they get messed up because they're in the wrong place, messing with the wrong people, and not knowing who they messing with.
When you come through the block of the bricks, you better show respect.
But that's exactly what happened to this officer too. He thought he got away with it, and his life is completely different now, and it should be. You know, he's a convict. He's been convicted. He's appealing it, but this is how it's supposed to be rectified. It just should have been rectified more appropriately in real time, right? There were policies that were supposed to stop this from happening. They weren't followed at all.
Malcolm, if you sue everybody, we won't have any money left for the kids to go to school.
Well, that's why there's supposed to be insurance, right? That's why municipalities, and Billy has been preaching this for the past year and a half since we really have picked up our civil rights practice. These municipalities need to have insurance because they'll have adjusters who will then make risk management decisions about the actual personnel of these departments, right? They will sit there and say, these people, after doing an analysis of, data, if we look back at what people are doing and project how they're going to operate in the future, we can say this person is way too risky. You need to curtail their behavior, or your rates are going up, right? Your premiums are going up.
The same way they do black people with car insurance in West Baltimore.
Correct. It only makes sense because there's so much risk involved in being a police officer.
Hey,
go ahead.
While we're at it, we should tie in the police commissioner's salary increases and this Baltimore City school CEO raises. We should tie that into the insurance rate too. Like, if you get paid this amount of money, but you only educate this many people, then your rate goes up even higher because you obviously can't teach.
Well, look, you can say that our school system at times has been criminal in this city.
When we gonna see somebody come out of it? They tried to mash the Baltimore County school superintendent when the Baltimore County School Board, those same Karens that are jumping up and down crying out there in Baltimore County, they misspent $63,000. But nobody said anything to them.
63,000?
That's just what they found. And the lady who found that, Andrea Barr, they fired her after 36 years. The chief auditor in Baltimore County got rid of her. 36 years. That's because the Karens on the Baltimore County School Board. Oh, you ever heard of Dr. Cheryl Pastor? She like the Malcolm Ruff of Baltimore County. She went in there. Look up. She about to be a delegate. Dr. Cheryl Pastor. She G-checked Karen out there. And by the way, if you go to Towsontown Mall, then you're only 2 minutes from the county school board headquarters. This for all our county brethren. Go to the county school board meeting sometime. Show up, black people in Baltimore County.
What about the taxpayer lawsuit that's been filed against Baltimore School Board, Baltimore City?
Who's that?
Actually, I just met this brother recently, Giovanni Patterson, I think is his name. He and his wife filed a taxpayer lawsuit against Baltimore City School Board for essentially not providing adequate service, educational services based on the taxes that are paid from the taxpayers.
The challenge is he used Fox. And right
I
now,
do remember that.
See, black people, if you start with Fox, you're going to end with Fox. You might want to try the black press, Be More News, the Afro, the Baltimore Times, because that is the purpose of the black press. Among duties is to be an advocate for black people.
Absolutely. But look, I'm gonna read the lawsuit and we can get back about that one because I want to know, whether this is something that our firm should be paying attention to. But the concept is actually very intriguing to me. And I've often said,
then it must be a go. I'll cover it.
No, I'll let you know what my thoughts are after I review it. But I think the last thing I know we got to get off, but the last thing I got to say is my man Willie mentioned something earlier, and I got to tell you, this is my favorite story from when I played football at Duke, so we'll end it on a light note.
Now, this is real football. You weren't playing rugby.
This is real football.
Or you weren't playing soccer because football
this is ACC football. So I was a freshman in 2002, and I thought I was going to be redshirted. I was going to get an extra year of eligibility and be able to sit on the sidelines and learn and grow into a college athlete. But we had too many injuries, and so I had to lose my red shirt freshman year. My first college football game was Florida State at Florida State. And so this is Duke. We've never been a football power.
Did I tell you about Chief John Horse and the Seminoles? They called them the Unconquered. Now, we first started talking about Coach K. I told you I was a little apprehensive. I didn't think Coach K was necessarily unapologetically black. He might have been unapologetically not black.
Not black. Was that Polish?
Yakshimas, Dubsy, Bodzi, Dubsy.
So we go to Florida State, right? We get down there and they just waxing us. They had Anquan Bolden, they had Chris Ricks, Greg Jones, and they also had what was this brother's name? Why am I forgetting his name now? Oh my goodness, Darnell Dockett. There we go, Darnell Dockett. You remember him? He played for the Cardinals. Big brother, played D-line. Heck of a player, right? So I'm on the field for the last play of the game. The score was like 54-17. We're getting waxed. Terrible. Last play of the game is a punt, right? So I'm on the punt team. We get out there, do my little block. They kick the ball. The time expires, right? And I'm still on the field. And Darnell Dockett is also still on the field. As time expires, and this is what Willie said at the bottom. So he comes up to me as I'm about to walk off the field, puts his hand on my shoulder, looks at me, and says with a plain face, "So do y'all practice?" I'll never forget it. That moment will always be stuck in my mind. Yeah, that was hurtful. That was probably the most hurtful thing, any piece of smack talk that has ever been said to me.
Y'all practice? No profanity.
No profanity. Just do y'all practice. So, from that lowest moment, it's always motivated me. One of my favorite moments. But as far as what we're doing at the Murphy firm, I appreciate you for allowing me to be able to talk about some of these cases. We got a lot more cases going on, a lot more people to stand up for their rights in Prince George's County, in Baltimore City, on the Eastern Shore, across the country. We have cases in Detroit, cases in Phoenix. We've handled some cases in Memphis, Virginia.
Besides people at your law firm, what Black lawyers in Baltimore do you look up to?
Black lawyers in Baltimore that I look up to. I've always looked up to Ken Ravenel, even to this day. One of the most killer litigators on the face of this planet.
What's a litigator for those who don't know?
A litigator is a trial lawyer, somebody that is able to build a case and either or to break a case down in a courtroom, and to use the law to their client's advantage, persuasively, expertly, diligently, and with great craftsmanship.
I've heard this said on law movies. A lawyer is to argue the facts or argue the law, and there's one more or. Like when you go in and take a case, you bang home the facts of the case, or you argue the law.
I know what you're talking about. It says you can either argue the facts, or you can pound the facts, or you can pound the law, or pound the table.
But you better be pounding something. If Roya had her, I'd be scared because she don't look like she do too much pounding.
Look, I ain't going there.
I try to get me one more political race.
You stay trying to get me talking trash about somebody, man. I got no need to talk about trash.
She got $50 in her campaign account. She got $50. And
look,
but
I got no need to talk trash about any other state's attorney candidate.
She did the rope-a-dope. She going as an independent. That means she still have her name out there, but she had to raise more than $63.
Hey, look, Marilyn Mosby is my homie, and I will stick with her because she has been the most transformative state's attorney for Black people that has existed in Baltimore City. So that's my sister. I'm gonna stick with her.
Well, I seem like I haven't been yelling lately.
Man, I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said, but you heard what I said.
I mean, talk louder.
Donnie, you heard what I said. So that's all I got to say. That's all it needs to be.
And we don't even need to talk about Freak Nasty. He can't even buy sex correctly.
What's the point? Why we even going there? All I know is no matter what, you know that we're gonna be here holding people accountable, right? On behalf of the people, and also making sure that we support the right people. You know,
what will Mary Bubala do if she finds out that her grandchild is half Black?
What? Where did that come from?
My name's Donnie Glover. Keep watching BlackUSA.News, the voice of our people. Good to talk to you, Malcolm.
Love you, Donnie.
I'll
see you Saturday.
Absolutely, you will.
Black freedom. Happy Juneteenth to all y'all.
Power to the people. And don't watch Fox. And watch the Runaway Slave Report with Kai Jackson.